And you know what time it is now, Dan?
It's time for Plays of the Week, baby. Let's do it.
You got it. Let's do it. Plays of the week. We got 5 to get to, so we waste no time. We begin with Hempfield area as Dom Dietrich's return to the field from a health scare was a big story on Friday, and the Spartans quarterback showed no signs of rust. He displayed his big arm early, hooking up with Nick Marcus to put Hempfield on the board with Jack Ridenauer and Marcus Katarski captioning the play.
Third and 12. Spartans just trying to orchestrate some offense. Drops back, feeling pressure. Heaves down the middle of the field. He's got a man. It's caught. Off to the races is into the end zone. Nicholas Marcus gets the Spartans on the board. It's 7-6.
They had nibbled there on the first drive, just weren't able to hit it. Coach Kiefer and staff came back to it. Great execution all the way around. Watch here at Dietrich with enough time. Gets set. Just perfect timing and touch on that pass. Oh, what a great one. Hit him in stride.
Yeah, Dom Dietrich showing no rust, absolutely none. Actually, he did overthrow a receiver not long before that could have went for a touchdown. It was that close. That one he dropped right out of the sky, man. That was unbelievable. And what do you think was going through his mind, Sean, when, he dropped the dime in there? First touchdown. He probably didn't know if he was ever going to play again, right? You never know. A lot of, doubts going through your mind or going through something that's serious. That was an awesome moment.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective much differently, but I know I and many other broadcasters and anyone that was out of work when COVID hit, we all kind of said, we will not take for granted being able to do what we love to do. So you get back at it after, months away. And I can only imagine for him, like you said, maybe wondering if he would ever play again. So that had to be awesome for him. And the first of many, many touchdowns. Of course, he threw a couple more in that game. And I'm sure he's going to throw many more this season as well. We stay in that same game for Plays of the Week. On the Franklin Regional side of things, the Panthers seem to always have a response, including a big special teams play by Jamir Austin just seconds after the Spartans scored, with once again Jack and Mark on the call.
Hempfield area finds the end zone after Dom Dietrich finds Steinbeiser. Back on WSN, here's Austin with a burst of speed, off to the races, zigzags, and there he goes! What a response by the Panthers! Jamir Austin dancing his way to a touchdown, and it's 27-13.
Oh, poor Hempfield. Just when they had some momentum. We had saw this on the previous kickoff after the score that he was close to breaking it. And remember, on the opening kickoff, they did a great job just dropping it in front. But once he got through the initial hole, watch here. I think that's that Bennett or Austin. And that is it. Made a little move here on the kicker. Look at that breakaway speed for the touchdown.
Yeah, that was a massive play in the game, Sean, because Hempfield had just put a really good drive together and cut down the deficit until Jamir Austin, the ensuing kickoff, returns it for a touchdown. And Lance Getze was kind of raving about him during camp, saying this kid really has an opportunity to contribute for us this year. He certainly did in the game. And not just him, great seam. Good job by the entire special teams kickoff right there, because he busted through that seam and he was absolutely gone. But you got to get that seam first, and all 11 guys really did their job of the play.
Yeah, Austin's making some headlines. He already has an offer from Purdue. I saw there was a story written about him. I think it might have been Pittsburgh Sports Now that highlighted him after the game and how he's really just hasn't even done a whole lot on offense yet. That's probably going to come, but he makes an impact on defense and certainly makes an impact on special teams as well. We continue Plays of the Week with Kiski area, and trailing at the half, the Cavaliers staged a third quarter surge propelled by Carson Heinley and Avon Shirley. Their first of 2 touchdown connections got Kiski area right back in the game, with Dave Franzak and Brian Brzezinski painting the picture.
This time for the Cavaliers. Looking to throw as Heinle blitzes coming up the middle. Has a man streaking. Caught. Touchdown. Avon Shirley. 44 yards from Carson Heinle. And the Cavaliers get back on the board.
Yeah, certainly a big play, in the game. Norwin played well defensively, but a couple of big pass plays for Carson Heinle, who continues to do it, breaking in another new wide receiver after, again, you mentioned earlier Bart and Isaiah Gonzalez, and those guys last year were really good wideouts for him. But Heinle continues to show, ever since he broke in as a JV, then varsity quarterback, that he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, and I wonder what nickname Sam Albert has given Avon Shirley at this point, because he's got nicknames for everyone.
It's not
Certainly,
Stick, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's a guy that deserves a nickname with what he's doing at the receiver position. We stay in that same game for plays of the week, and we look at the Norwin perspective, as the night ultimately belonged to the Knights, though it was the running game that led the way for Norwin. A second quarter score by Giovanni Rotroff pulled Norwin even, with Dave and Brian again providing the audience.
3rd and 6 for Norwin. And up goes the Rotroff up the middle, lowers the boom,
man.
lunges forward, touchdown,
Great.
Norwin.
And you know what? That's what that kid brings. And not only, I got to say this, what Norwin does a nice job of is they rotate through 3 backs, so all 3 backs at some time or another are fresh. And that's just a epitome right there of fresh legs.
Once again, Sean, not to keep beating a dead horse, but to get that running game on track and to use a stable of running backs to go along with someone that can put the ball in the air and have a lot of success doing it in Tristan Tavares. Huge for Norwin. Hopefully that will continue into the future. We'll see. But so far, so good for that Norwin running game.
Do you have horses on your mind? You said horse and stable.
Did I say stable too? Yeah, I think so. I was thinking about actually getting into maybe horse racing. You think I could do that?
As a jockey?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you do very well.
I mean, I'm wearing this hat. I got to get like a different hat, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can chronicle
cowboy
that,
hat or something. I don't know. What do they
over
wear?
the next few weeks as your journey takes you to.
Hey, I heard the Kentucky Derby is like the best party ever. I've never actually been there, but I heard it's a great event.
And you want to not just be there, you want to be competing.
I do. I want to race horses, yes.
Yeah, well,
That's my
aim for the stars, buddy. I think you got big things in front of you. Speaking of which, we'll wrap up Plays of the Week with a guy who has certainly been doing some big things this year, and that's Jeanette's Jace Powell. He's established himself as one of the most electric players in Westmoreland County, and he showed that once again on a punt return against Apollo Ridge that extended the Jayhawks' lead in the opening quarter. Brent Wiggum and Anthony D'Annunzio detailed the big play on special teams.
For the Jayhawks as far as field position is concerned. This punt, Jace is going to be pushed back again. Fields it at the 30, steps away from the first tackler, now across the 40, going to be spun down, spins out of it, midfield, 40, he needs a block, gets it, and he is going to be sprung. Jace Powell all the way home, punt return for a touchdown, and boy, did that momentum switch.
Wow, that penalty was so crucial. You talked about the penalties that Apollo Ridge committed last week. They've committed some tonight, and this one was deadly in the form of Jace Powell taking it all the way into the end zone.
What an amazing start for Jace Powell. Wins Player of the Week last week. Another massive performance this week to go along with Kaimani Brown for Jeanette. And, sometimes I kind of think of Samir Crosby over at Greensburg Central Catholic. These 3 guys were teammates when they were younger before Samir transferred to GCC. So a lot of talent, just so much continuing to pour out of Jeanette. And he's just so fun to watch Jace and Kaimani do their thing.
Yeah, some really special players there. And, again, depth-wise, I don't know if they're quite where they were when they were winning championships, but high-end skill-wise, I think Jeanette, this team could stack up against some of the good ones we've seen over the past decade or so. Jace Powell certainly a big, big part of that.